My name is Rob. I am sending out a message in all AM frequencies. I'll be waiting at noon every day at the Southport Beach.
Yep, that's right. SHTF just happened. This is the end of the world as we know it. That message I copied from the movie I Am Legend.
Today we've lost internet completely. We have cell phone tower nearby us, actually really close. It's quite incredible how close it is. It was one of the selling points of being able to live at this place was having AT&T. We looked at 10 acres, and there was two downsides to that place. And one of them, it didn't have a cell tower. It's convenient for us to do cell tower internet instead of just getting regular internet because I don't need to power much. I can just power a cell phone. And so I can also have Wi-Fi. All I got to do is do that mobile hotspot. I get I don't know, 10 gigabytes or something. It's not enough for my YouTube channel, but I can write any expenses off on taxes for that purpose. So it's just real convenient to have cell phone. And it being so close, we never have problems with it, except about every 3 months. Something happens to the tower. I don't know if it's just a weak signal from our current tower or if we're getting a signal from another tower that's much weaker. But it's very slow internet. I mean, most of the time we get like 30 megabytes per second or something like that download speed, and we're getting just over 1 megabyte per second. I know this is terrible. I mean, it's the end of the world kind of stuff. So I can't upload a video. Well, I guess when you get this video, it will have been 2 days ago. Now, there was one time I remember it happened when we first moved into this house, and it lasted for several days. Now, Carolyn's memory of this event is a little different than mine, but regardless, it felt like it was forever. So what we ended up doing was driving into town, going to the AT&T store. Of course, he said he couldn't help us, but he did get on his computer and he looked and he saw that the tower was down. Well, I don't know if he was able to help us or not, but when we got back to the house, it was a 20-mile drive, well, 40-mile round trip. We had the cell phone back up and running again. So maybe he fixed it. So it's kind of intermittent. We can't do much with it. It's very spotty. Every time a car drives by, it dies. We can't use the cell phone in the house at all. We have two cell phones, mine and Carolyn. Carolyn's is sitting on the bed. She doesn't get any signal, nothing. I take mine outside and I use the hotspot, and I'm getting very limited. So I put out a call to the town and say, hey, has anybody called AT&T? Now I know somebody's gonna say, you should take responsibility for that yourself. Well, I would love to, except every time I get on the phone with them, it gets disconnected. So I figured if there was somebody out there that had a regular phone, they could contact them if they wanted to. I mean, they're having the same problems we're having. And somebody took the bait. I think they're calling, so we'll see how that goes. I've tried to call so many times before. It's just, I mean, it might be worth just going back to town. Although they keep saying they can't help you. The reason I bring this video up, it seems kind of useless for an off-grid video, but for SHTF, it's the most vital thing you'll ever learn. I watched a video from a prepper when AT&T went down nationwide. Now that didn't affect us at all. We had cell phones, so we got even a message from AT&T saying they apologized to us, but I don't know why they would apologize. We didn't lose cell phone. On a side note, what frustrates me about utility companies, this is one of the reasons I don't hook up to the electric. So we have no cell phone. We can't use the cell phone. I mean, I can, but it's very limited. But are they going to reduce my rate next month? Are they going to give me any money back? Nope, they're going to charge me full price. So how's that fair? Now, I know what they're going to say. Well, you just drive to another tower and you could have used a cell phone. Yeah, but I didn't buy it for that. I bought it so I could have it in the house, which is what I told you when I bought it. I mean, a lot of people use cell phones just for their primary use. So I was watching this prepper, and he was talking about how critical communication is. during SHTF. You're going to have some sort of communication. So, I mean, he's talking catastrophic, end of the world type of stuff. And that we are still going to have to be paying attention about what's going on. China's coming over. They're going to kill us, of course, as soon as our electric goes down. So we need to be ready for that. We got to have communications. We got to have information. And when, we got to figure out what our government's doing. You know, they're going to be behind our back because there's nobody telling us what's going on. And so he references before the internet, how limited information was back then and how much stuff they pulled behind our back. You know what? I've been without internet all day today. It really isn't a big deal. Carolyn's over there crocheting. I'm probably more stressed about it than anything because I can't upload my video today. So that's a job. That's not SHTF. If SHTF happened, I wouldn't worry about YouTube anymore. I'd do that for money. If SHTF were to happen, I'd have to figure out another source of money, which I think would be like firewood or food or something like that. I think people just try to find a calamity at every turn. They're trying to find something that can scare people. And the only thing that frustrates me about this, for example, ham radios. I don't know what a ham radio costs, but I'm certain they're pretty expensive. And so anytime they talk about communications in an SHTF, they talk about ham radios. I don't see the point. Who are you going to contact? Another guy that has limited information? It's just going to be a bunch of individuals passing along information that they have in their area. Well, today I saw 5 deer and nothing else. And so what are you going to do? What good is that information? There is no... All you need to survive: food, water, shelter, and defense. The reason I say defense is you do want to protect your borders. People may try to come in if they're not aware that you're there. They may come in and say they want your firewood or they want your food. Now, I don't have a lot of food, so these hordes of people that are going to come and raid my home, what are they going to take? Okay, let's say there's 50 people in this group and they all grab some food. Well, there wouldn't be enough food for them. They'd eat one meal and move on. It wouldn't be worth their effort to travel all this distance to get a meal, possibly. Oh, they could get your chickens. Okay, and so that feeds 13 of them. Wouldn't it be more smarter to go to a big farm? I mean, a huge farm, one with 500 cattle. You could butcher a cattle and it'd feed 10 of you, 100 of you. So I think people just live in this fantasy world that they are hopeful that everything is going to go wrong, everything's going to go bad, and they are going to be the sole survivors. But I don't know what communication is going to do. I really think that if you just had food, water, shelter, and defense, and I'm not talking about 5 million rounds of ammo, I'm talking about defense. And you got to think outside the box. You're not going to have an army of people patrolling the border like some fantasy movie. You're going to have, well, let's just put it this way, booby traps. And the booby traps are going to be quite effective. If it's not just going to hurt somebody in the leg, it's going to take out 20 of them. Those kind of booby traps, and they're not hard to make. Keep the people off your property. Then you have shelter. Obviously, shelter is something that everybody should understand. Some water and an ability to heat the water, ability to heat the house. You don't want to freeze to death. And you're going to survive just fine. It's not comfortable. And people are so accustomed to having everything at their fingertips. Being able to call whoever they want to call, being able to get on the internet anytime they want to get on the internet. There's a library not too far from us. It's actually pretty close. You could walk in a little ways, a little bit of time. If SHTF were to happen, go to the library, pick up some books. That's good entertainment. They said during Hurricane Katrina that every store, every building was ransacked except the library. So you go to the library, you get some books, you'd have entertainment for the rest of your life. Not everything has to be, oh my goodness, we got to spend thousands of dollars. Try to minimize your lives. Focus on those 4 things and stress will be so much better in your life. So if you'll click this up next box, it'll take you to a video where I was talking about I've been diagnosed with a deadly disease. So I hope I can inspire you. So stop being afraid. So you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.